Thanks for tuning in for another D6 pack video. Today I'm going to be going over the game Herbaceous Sprouts, which is a quick little dice game in the same universe as the card game Herbaceous. I'm going to get to the game shortly, but if you appreciate this video, we would love to have you hit the subscribe button. Also, follow us on any of our social media accounts at D6 Pack Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And with that, let me get to the game. So this is it for setup for this game. It's pretty simple. Each player gets a board and a set of tokens, as well as 2 randomly drawn dice from this bag. And if you are playing with less than 4 players, you'll set the rival tokens off to the side here. The board is placed within reach of all players. You have a lemonade card, and then you draw 3 cards, or one more than the number of players from the deck. And the first player will draw dice and place them onto the card for each of these spaces that have this die symbol on them. Then, in player order, each player will have a chance to select one of these cards, claiming all the dice and placing it into their wheelbarrow. If there are more than 7 dice, any excess have to be discarded immediately before taking any other actions. Each die color has a little bit of something special to it, and each of these cards have special abilities, or some of them have special abilities. So the specialties of the dice are shown at the bottom of the player board. The green dice are going to be the only ones that have flowers on them. I'll explain why that's important in a minute. Blue dice have a face which is a random. Red dice have a reroll symbol, which allows you to reroll as many of the dice as you want. And the yellow die has a trowel, which will allow you to plant flowers. Again, I'll come back to why that's important in a moment. The cards have effects which are shown on the left-hand side of your board. Normally, those are going to be instant effects which happen after you've decided which die you want to keep in your wheelbarrow. There is a red glove, which allows you to re-roll 1 die per glove. There's a bag, which allows you to draw a die from the bag and roll it. There's a package, which indicates a specific die face, which you are allowed to change to any other die face. There is a trowel, which will allow you to plant flowers into this portion of the board, which is the garden. There is a watering can, which allows you to spend 2 die of the same symbol in order to plant any one flower. And then there is a flower pot, which allows you to save a seed. This is the only one which does not necessarily happen immediately. After effects, players have the opportunity to plant seeds into the garden if they wish to. However, each of the 4 sections of the garden has different placement rules. This section of the board has to have die faces all the same type. So the banner here shows how many of that type you need, and then the green circle shows how many points you get for planting into that space. So for example, if you were to plant 6 die faces of all the same type, you will get 12 points for that at the end of the game. And in order to show that you were the one that completed that, you will place your player token into that space, and no one else can claim that for the rest of the game. This space needs all uniquely different die faces. However, there are some spaces which are duplicated, so 2 players can place 5 uniquely different die faces. The first player to do that will get 8 points. The second player to do it will get 6 points. In this section, you are planting pairs. So you want to have 2 die faces that are the same two that are the same in a different face, and then two that are the same in a different face in order to plant 3 pairs. First player to do that gets 9, second gets 7. And then the flowers are just straight planted. They're only able to be planted if you have a trowel or a watering can. You then will place that into the highest scoring place of whatever flower you're planting. You have peonies, black-eyed Susans, and forget-me-nots. And the sooner you do that, the more points you will get. The first player to plant 1 token in each of these 4 gardens gets the lemonade, which is a 2-point bonus at the end of the game. At the end of the round, there will be 1 card remaining, which has not been chosen. At the bottom of that card, there is a space which is indicated to be blocked off. So in this case, it says the 2 of peonies. So in that case, you would put a rival token there, showing that no one else can claim that for the rest of the game. This makes the board tighter as the game progresses so that lower player count games aren't as unrestricted as they would otherwise be. The game continues like that until this deck has been emptied, and then players will add up points for each of the spaces that have their player tokens on them, and if you got the lemonade, you will get 2 additional points, and whoever has the most points wins. So this is a very simple game. The die mechanic is luck-based, but I have a lot of fun with this one. There's enough strategy to it that it's not pure luck, and you can kind of plan differently than your opponents would and try out different things in order to get different point variations. So I like that. This is a fun one to play around with. It's easy to teach, quick to play. So if you are looking for like a light filler game which has a little bit of luck in it, that you can teach to just about anyone, I would highly suggest giving Herbaceous Sprouts a look. And with that, thanks for watching. Bye.